The stock of the day is brought to you by IG, Australia's #1 CFD provider. Trade over 17,000 markets with extended trading hours on key US shares and competitive spreads, all on an award-winning platform. Get started at IG.com.
And stock of the day is Santos. This after the $36 billion takeover offer has collapsed just 2 days before the deadline for a binding deal was to be signed, with Abu Dhabi National Oil Company scuppering the deal. Abu Dhabi's national oil foreign investment arm, XRG, saying it found factors during its due diligence work on Santos that had reduced its assessment of the target's value. In a statement, it said, following a comprehensive evaluation and taking into account all commercial factors and the terms of the scheme implementation agreement required by the Santos board, the consortium has determined that it will not be proceeding with the proposed transaction. Now, in a statement to the ASX, Santos saying it had concerns about delays in agreeing to the scheme implementation, saying the XRG consortium would not agree to acceptable terms which protected the value of the potential transaction for Santos shareholders. XRG is the third bidder to abandon a proposed acquisition for what is Australia's second largest oil and gas producer. Now, in the wake of the development, broker Jarden downgrading Santos to an underweight rating from an overweight. Citi, though, has a buy on it, whereas a Morgans has a trim from accumulate. A bit of a different opinion on Santos there in the wake of this development. Howard, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to get excited about Santos. I mean, for at least 20 years, it's really made a decent return on equity. And it's now got the added problem that the vast majority of Australia's population in surveys say they want to reduce global warming. Not that we make any difference to it. I mean, if we turn the lights out completely in Australia, it would make absolutely no difference to the whole world. We're so tiny in comparison. But the point is, it means that a company like this is always going to struggle because any new project it wants to do is going to take forever to get environmental approvals before it can start up. And as we've seen with Woodside, which is more able politically to move offshore, Woodside's pretty much moving a lot of its growth and development offshore. Santos can't because of its agreement with the South Australian government. There's nothing really to recommend it. So I'm not suggesting the company go broke or anything, but if you want 20 companies in your portfolio or even 25, you don't have to fish as far down as Santos to find one that's likely to be a winner for you.
A clear no from you, Anthony. What are you thinking? And particularly, it has taken a tumble today too. But the question is, what's ahead? Does it try and break up its assets, perhaps? Given the issue is also over this domestic. This is what South Australian government had an issue with, it just protecting, domestic supply.
I think, first fun fact, it's 25 years since Craig David had his song I'm Walking Away. So Santos at the altar again, unfortunately. Look, fundamentally, they're high quality strategic assets. Howard's outlined the political environment and, for things like their development pipeline in Beetaloo, which Origin has sort of removed from their potential. Look, it's there. There's some really, really high quality assets. There are some wrinkles in terms of government, in terms of exposure domestically. Fundamentally now we're seeing shipping costs reduce pretty markedly. They do have some exposures globally, obviously the acquisition up in PNG, and fundamentally fueling emerging Asia's growth. We know that gas is going to have to be part of the decarbonisation solution. They've got some fantastic assets. So let's sort of think about a framework of balance sheet quality. Let's talk about gearing, required capex, underlying cash flow, which supports earnings. There is a strong potential there. We do have some risks which fold into our valuation, but all things considered, we own the business, we have a reasonable position, and a little like was talking earlier about being on the back foot with something like Treasury, we'd be actually adding incrementally to our position, just on a view that the cash flow generation, the need for gas, the underlying cost of production, they are high quality, it's global, and there is demand for their product.
So it is
I'll put it buy, but I'm on the back foot, nice and gentle.
A gentle buy.
Gentle buy.
Well, there you go. For Santos, stock of the day, it is a buy from Anthony. No, Howard is not interested. That is our stock of the day. Thanks for watching.
The stock of the day was brought to you by IG. Trade over 12,000 shares and ETFs, including major tech giants with extended hours on an award-winning platform. Get started at ig.com.